Hello, my name is Tony Wilder, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen here. We're coming up on the preseason, and I'd like to talk about a couple things that happened last year. Disappointment is something that when it happens on the field, it's very, very hard to make an assessment as to just how to deal with it. But one of the best things that you can do, and I'm talking about, it's disappointment for the player, but disappointment for a teammate. I'll give you a specific example. We had a guy who had 3 men on base, and he popped the ball. And he made it around all the bases, and between second and third got tagged out. And he came back to the dugout, and he went into this little thing in his head that we all go there. We all go there, whether it's the coach or whoever it is. If you're out there on the field and you're playing, you're going to get disappointed sooner or later. Now, one of the ways of dealing with this, at least in respect to the teammate situation, this particular guy who had this 3 RBI and then got tagged out situation, we just started talking to him as soon as he got back to the dugout. It was pretty simple. Usually we will, when somebody comes back to the dugout, no matter what they do, we pat them on the back. It's just what you do. You high-five them, you do all that stuff. You say, look, you got out there and you did your best, that's all that matters. When you miss it, it can be a very, very negative situation. And I'll give you the example that I have here. We had a guy who started with us. I got there a couple of weeks into the season, and he started the same day I did. And he was kind of fun because he started the same day I did. We were both on the same foot pretty much. And he went out on the field. This is about maybe 6-7 games later. He went out on the field and he popped the ball and he knocked it into the outfield. And after he knocked it into the outfield, he ran to first base. Everybody was happy. It was great. We were dealing with a very competitive team. They were sharp and they were going to do whatever they could to win, and they did. And in one of those unique player tricks, the first baseman held on to the ball. Our player backed off the first base for just 6 inches for just a few seconds, and the first baseman tagged him out. Now, that caused the inning to be over. Okay, so their team was able to go up and start hitting. Apparently, this one small incident where one guy got tagged off base, and it's very easy to say there's no small incidents in baseball. Every base counts, every hit counts. And while that's true, for this guy, this situation was over-amplified in his head. And he came back to the dugout, and I don't know who spoke to him, but we had quite a few things going on at the time, and nobody probably really took the time to sit him down and say, hey, look, don't worry about it. Look, that's just what luck of the draw. And sure enough, the game was over. We'd finished for the day, and we all left the field. This guy that I'd started with, who I was, we were all friends. It was nice to be with someone that you could relate to from the standpoint that you had something in common with him. He never came back. Now, he never came back, and he never played another game. It's very disappointing to see that happen. Now, the moral of the story here is to pull a player over, no matter how badly they've done out on the field. You get a guy who's running around the bases, and he gets tagged out, or whatever the case may be. We all expect an outfielder to catch the ball, and we're going to be out. Everybody kind of knows that stuff. But if you get somebody who's coming in off the field, they don't feel particularly good, say something to them. Say something that takes their mind off of that last play. Because that last play, let's face it, it's over with. You got to get on to something new. Pull the guy's head off of what that incident is. Now, that being said, we all believe in team spirit, and we all want to do the best we can to support each other. Let's do that this upcoming season. 2017 looks real good. It looks like we're going to have a lot of fun. There is something else I'd like to bring to the table on this. There is a way that you can come onto the field with a completely open and clear mind, and people will say to you, well, okay, that's what I do every time, but very often it's not. We'll come to the field and there's just been some kind of disagreement with a spouse or something of that nature, or we didn't do so well in the last game, so we're worried about this game. Just all the usual stuff that really has no meaning when you step onto the field. One of the best things you could possibly do, and maybe you're doing this already, it's done in Asia. They do it on the Japanese teams. Now the Chinese are stepping up to the, if you'll forgive the pun, stepping up to the plate there. They're building their own baseball leagues. This, I can guarantee you that they're doing out there. When they come to the game, before the game starts, they meditate. That means you put your fingers together like this or like this, whatever you want to do. You close your eyes for 5 to 10 minutes or so. All this secret word stuff that you're supposed to say to yourself, that's all wonderful. And if you want to go and look at another video on YouTube and find something of that nature that applies to what you're doing, that's great too. But just remember this. You only have to come to the field. You do this, put your fingers together, or like this. It doesn't really matter. Close your eyes 5 to 10 minutes or so, and you will walk onto the field with a very level-headed sense of thinking. You will walk onto the field not bothered by stuff that previously happened. Now this is important, because when you come onto the field and you make a play, whatever you're doing, it is only a play. It's just like, it's only baseball. It's only a game, okay? So don't come onto the field with baggage that's bothering you, that's going to be just a little bit of an annoyance, like a tiny stone in your shoe all through the game. Do this tiny thing that a lot of us do nowadays, and clear your head of what you want to clear your head of when you come into the game. Now, that being said, this is about the clearest way we can get this season started. And that means to start with a clear head, and when you see a teammate come off the field that's not doing so well, make sure that you say something to that person. Do something that's going to not let them fall into this little hole of disappointment that they've built for themselves where they will go. And we've all seen a lot of baseball players do that. And it seems like the ones who accomplish the most and do the best are the ones who know how to go there the worst. So do whatever you can to make sure that nobody walks off the field so disappointed that they never come back. I'm going to end this video with a little comical thing. We have a couple of guys that were on our team last year. They were a lot of fun. One guy's name was Chris, and he was a good pitcher. He could get in there and pitch, and I really appreciated watching the guy do what he's done, and I featured him in some of my videos. And we had another guy, Bluto. Bluto was about the best player on the team. He was a pretty good guy. He had a good sense of humor, and I went to them before the game, and I looked at them and I said, I don't know, I'm about the worst guy on the team. And as I said that, they both broke out into whoa. And when they did it together, you kind of had to be there to hear this comical effect of these guys looking at me. You know, I'm saying I'm the worst player on the team. It was just funny because they were looking at me and they were going, no, you're not the worst player on the team. And then what was, you know, hilarious was that Bluto, after they got done talking to me, Bluto looks at me and he goes, yeah, you do suck worse than probably anybody on the team. Now, what followed after that was just these little remarks and things, but it was funny. They were willing to honor my self-deprecating idea of myself at that point, and they were willing to support me also. And I never forgot that incident. It brings a laugh to me even now. It's those kinds of incidents that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, and no matter what happens on the field, you want to have this teammate banter. It will lighten things up. On that note, this is Beginning Pitching. I'm Tony Wilder. This video was about team spirit, and I hope you enjoyed it. All right, thank you very much.